Poglavlje 1. Plač. U Tkalčićevoj Mija Kovač stajala je na sredini Tkalčićeve ulice, mobilni telefon još uvijek pritisnut uz uho, iako je veza bila prekinuta prije 5 minuta. Katarinin glas još joj je odzvanjao u ušima. Hladan, odmjeren, brutalno efikasan. Draga Mija, odlučili smo ići s drugim organizatorom. Kompanija Elite Events iz Zagreba će preuzeti organizaciju. Hvala ti na svemu što si radila do sada. 7 mjeseci rada. 7 mjeseci planiranja najvažnijeg događaja u svom kratkom karijernom luku. Vjenčanje Katarine Babić i Marina Petrovića trebalo je biti njezin veliki proboj, prelazak iz Dubrave u svijet zagrebačke elite, možda čak i put prema Opatiji, gdje se veliki eventi doista događaju. Vrijeme je bilo tipično hrvatsko za listopad, kiša koja ne zna je li jesen ili zima, vjetar koji nosi mirise kestenja s gornjeg grada i vlage s bundeka. Turisti su se skrivali pod kišobranima, traženji skloništa u kafićima, čiji su vlasnici već zapalili prva grijanja sezone. Mija je zavirila u svoj privatni blok s bilješkama. Svaka stranica bila je puna detalja od vrste cvijeća koje je Katarina željela, bijele ruže uvozne iz Holandije, niti 1 kuna jeftinija od onih iz lokalnih staklenika, do specifičnog tona zlatne boje za ukrase, ne bilo koje zlato, već ono koje se savršeno slaže s Katarininim prstenom za zaruke od 3,2 karata. Znala je da neće vidjeti niti lipe od svog rada. Katarina je uvijek nalazila načine da ne plati punu cijenu unaprijed, uvijek je bilo platit ćemo kad vidimo rezultate ili potrebno mi je još malo vremena da transferiram novac. I sada, kada je transfer trebao doći, umjesto novca dobila je otkaz. Slika za koju je mjesecima maštala, ona u elegantnoj crnoj haljini diskretno nadzire savršeno organizovan događaj, a gosti joj prilaze komplimentirajući organizaciju, potpuno je nestala. Umjesto toga stajala je na kišiju traperica i jakni iz second-hand dućana, osjećajući kako joj se san o vlastitoj agenciji ruši poput karte od origamija. Ušla je u kafić Medeni Kolačić, mjesto gdje će šalica kapućina oduzeti značajan dio njezina dnevnog budžeta, ali trebala je toplinu i trenutak da reorganizira misli. Vlasnik, stariji muškarac, koji ju je prepoznao kao redovnu mušteriju, mada ne baš frekventnu, bacio joj je razumnim pogled. Teška situacija? Upitao je dok je pripremao njezinu šalicu. Poslovni problem, odgovorila je, ne želeći ulaziti u detalje pred strancem. Ali dok je sjedila u uglu, gledajući kroz kišni Zagreb, shvatila je da joj problem nije samo posao. Trebala je platiti stanarinu do kraja tjedna, trebala je kupiti namirnice, trebala je pronaći način da objasni svojoj majci, koja već mjesecima i ponosno govori susjedama kako joj je kći organizatorica velikih događaja, da taj san upravo ne postoji. Otvorila je laptop koji je kupila na rate prije 6 mjeseci i počela pisati mail potencijalnim klijentima, objašnjavajući da je trenutno dostupna za nove projekte. Svaka riječ bila joj je teška, poput olova. Kako objašnješ da si dostupna jer te netko ostavio na cjedilo, a da pritom ne zvučiš neprofesionalno? Na ekranu laptopa vidjela je svoj odraz. Umorna djevojka od 26 godina, sve s premašom lice zbog stresa i očima koje su izgubile sjaj koji su imale kad je počinjala graditi svoj biznis prije 2 godine. Kiša se pojačala, a ona je shvatila da će ipak morati ići kući u Dubravu, objašnjavati majci zašto neće biti velikog događaja o kojemu je mjesecima pričala. I tamo, u malome stanu iz socijalističkog vremena, pokušat će pronaći način da nastavi dalje, da ne odustane od snova koji joj se upravo pretvorio u noćnu moru. Poglavlje 2. Tihi promatrač. Luka Marković sjedao je za stolom u uglu kafića Medeni Kolačić. Pozicija odakle je mogao vidjeti sve goste, a da pritom ostane neočigledan. Ovaj kafić postao mu je svojevrsno radno mjesto kada je trebao mir za razmišljanje o strategijama njegovi teh kompaniji koja je već 3 godine zaredom bilježila rast od preko 300% godišnje. Ipak, danas se nije mogao koncentrirati na quarterly reportove ili nove poslovne planove. Umjesto toga, pozornost mu je privukla mlada žena koja je ušla potpuno mokra, s očiglednim tragovima stresa na licu. Nije bio tip koji spone veze s nepoznatim ljudima, ali nešto u njezinoj energiji probilo je njegovu uobičajenu psihološku barijeru. Dok je ona razgovarala s vlasnikom kafića, Luka je nevoljno počeo čitati njezin body language. 16 godina rada u teh industriji, od pružanja korisničke podrške do upravljanja kompanijom s preko 200 zaposlenika, naučilo ga je prepoznavati kada nema neko dublji problem od uobičajene frustracije. Ova žena bila je na rubu psihološkog sloma. Kada je otvorila laptop i počela tipkati, Luka je primijetio da povremeno staje, briše napisano i počinje ispočetka. Klasični znakovi nekoga tko pokušava formulirati nešto važno, a ne zna odakle početi. Kombinacija poslovnog stresa i financijskih problema prepoznao je porque su mu bila poznata iz vlastitih ranih dana kada je gradio biznis iz garaže roditelje. Luka Marković bio je jedna od rijetkih osoba u Zagrebu koji je uspješno sačuvao privatnost usprkos značajnom bogatstvu. While su mediji pratio svaki korak drugih mladih poduzetnika, on je pažljivo konstruirao public persona koji je bio dovoljno otvoren da se izbjegnu spekulacije, a dovoljno zatvoren da se sačuva privacy. Njegova kompanija Marković Digital Solutions razvijala je softvere za međunarodne klijente, ali malo koji Zagrepčani znali su da je iza tog običnog naziva skrivana operacija koja je prethodne godine ostvarila profit od 6 milijuna eura. Luka je živio u elegantnom stanu na Tuškanac, vozio BMW kojeg nikad nije parkirao ispred kuće i vodio život koji je bio kombinacija high-end luksuza i middle class neutralnosti. Dok je promatrao ženu kako se bori s tipkanju maila, something je kliknulo u njegovoj glavi. Možda je to bilo prepoznavanje vlastitih ranih borbi, možda je to bila jednostavno potreba za change u vlastitoj rutini. Nije bio siguran, ali decizion se formirao prije nego što je racijom razmislio o implikacijama. Ustao je, prišao vlasniku kafića i diskretno ga upitao poznaje li ženu koja je sjedila u uglu. Vlasnik mu je objedan da je organizatorica događaja koja povremeno sviđa, uvijek naručuje samo jednu šalicu kave, uvijek ostavlja kakav sitni bakšiš iako vidi da nema puno novca. Organizatorica događaja. Luka je ponovio, intrigo mu se dodatno pojačala. Tog trenutka žena je zatvorila laptop s očiglednom frustracija, počela pakirati stvari s pokretima koji su odali da je decision dovršena. Whatever je bila to decision. Luka je imao, perhaps, sekundu da odluči. Vrati se na svoj stol i nastavi s analizom quarterly reportova ili učini nešto što nije učinio godinama. Prišao nepoznatoj osobi i ponudio pomoć. Dok je žena stajala, pripremao se za odlaz, Luka je ustao, ali nije se još uvijek odlučio na approach. Umjesto toga promatrao je kako pakcira stvari, kako provjerava je li laptop vel zatključan, kako osigurava da stvari neće povinjen potrgati, da kiša koja je još uvijek padala. U tom momentu njihovi pogledi se ukrstili. Ne namjerno, ne prema nekome plan, samo spontano. I umjesto da odvreje pogled, kao što je običavao u social situacijama, Luka je zadržao eye contact nekoliko sekundi, dovoljno da registrira da su njezine oči izuzetno inteligentne, čak i under slojem stresa koji ih je prekrivao. Ona je prva odvratila pogled, finished spakiranje i krenula prema vratima. Luka je stajao između dvije odluke koje će definirati ne samo njezin jednak, već i possibilities koje se još uvijek nije decision da razmotri. Poglavlje 3. Igra prestiža. Katarina Babić sjedila je u svojem corner office na 22. katu poslovnih grade u središtu Zagreba, poza njih kraj prozora koji je pružao spektakular pogled na Savu i Novi Zagreb. Pred njom je ležao tablet s otvoreni website kompanije Elite Event Zagreb, tim ljudima koji će organizirati njezino vjenčanje umjesto Mije Kovač. Odluka da promijeni organizatora nije bila impulzivna. Katarina nikad ništa ne čini impulzivno. Bila je proizvod zagrebačke višeg klas, kiči industrijalca, koji je uspješno navigirao transition od socijalizma k kapitalizmu, i woman koja je naučila da se kontrole vježbaju i kroz poslovne i kroz privatne decisions. Telefon poziv Miji bio je samo izvršenaj već donešene odluke. Ona i Marino had razgovarali o tome tjednama. Ne da Mija nije bila kompetentna, naprotiv, njezine ideje bile su often kreativnije i originalnija od onih established agencija. Ali prestiž je prestiž, a njihovo vjenčanje neće biti samo celebrated, već će biti društveni event koji će set standards za njihovu buduću poziciju među zagrebačkom elitom. Elite Events organizirala je vjenčanja political, sports i business celebritija. Imali su reference koje su uključivale imena koja svaki Zagrebčanin poznaje. Kada ljudi pitaju tko je organizirao njihovo vjenčanje, odgovor Elite Events će odmah poslati određenu poruku o njihovom društvenom statusu i financial capabilities. Mija Kovač, koliko god talented bila je ime koje niče ne prepozna, a Katarina nije mogla dopustiti da njezino vjenčanje, event koji će people pamtiti godinama, bude asociran s nekim organizatora iz Dubrave, kako je to formuliralo nekoliko njezinih prijateljica kada su discreetly izrazile concerns o Katarinoj initial choice. Marino je bila initially resistant promjeni. Svidio mu se Mijain approach, fact da je slušala njihove želje rather than imposing some generička vizija kao što often čine velike agencije. Ali when je Katarina explained društvenu komponent njihove decision, razumio je logic. Our wedding će biti fotografed za večernji list, objasnila mu je. Foto će biti u National Bijskom magazinu. Ljudi koji će ceme neće biti samo naši friends and family, već key players zagrebačkog business community. Ne možemo dopustiti da anything nije na highest možljivom nivou. Sada, dok je lista gestova, na njem ekranu Katarina je ponovno pregledala imena. 200 people, od čega se majority consists od influential individuals, čije prisutnosti na njihovom vjenčanju će consolidate njihovu poziciju among Zagreb's elite. Svaki detail mora biti calculated, svaki element mora transmit poruku o njihovom success i aspirationsima. Telefon je zvonio i caller ID je pokazao da poziva Marino. Već je mogla anticipate content razgovora. Vjerojatno se osjećao malo krivnje zbog načina kako su ended stvari s Mijom, te je htio rethink njihovu odluku. Marino je always bio softer kada su personal feelings u pitanju, while Katarina je learned da business decisions, čak i one koje include emocionalne komponente, must biti based na long-term strategic thinking. Katarina, Marino je započeo, čim je answered poziv, osjećam se poorly glede načina kako smo handled situation s Mijom. Možda je trebala biti more upfront o našoj decision timeline. Marino, we've discussed ovo. Ponašamo se kao adults who understand business realities. Mija je professional i ona razume da sometimes clients change decisions. To je dio ovog biznis. Ali 7 mjeseci rada. 7 mjeseci excellent rada za koji će biti compensated za time and materials used do ovog trenutka. Don't sentimentalniji od potrebnog. Katarina je završila poziv s confident da je njihova decision ispravna. Elite Events će deliver event koji će meeting njihove expectations, guest će biti impressed i njihova social pozicija će biti secure na način koji simpli ne bi bilo moguće s nepoznatim organizatorom, bez obzira na njihov talent. No, dok je zatvarala tablet, passing thought je flash kroz njezin mind, zašto se osjeća kao da je needed da justify svoju decision čak i sebi. Poglavlje 4. Neočekivana propozicija. 3 dana nakon razgovora u Medeni Kolačić, Mija je bila u svojem male prostoru koje je rentala kao office, zapravo former storage room u basement building na Ilici kojeg je transformirala u radni prostor za svojoj growing business before Katarina Babić je everything changed. Prostor je bio tiny, ali organized, s planning tablama na zidovima, sample materials za decorations i computer setup koji je assembly po komponentama da cost kontrola. Telefon je zvonio upravo when je bila occupied s updating njezin website, attempts to project confidence i availability, iako je inside osjećala da je njezin business u free fall. Caller ID je showed number koji nije recognized, ali v njezinom line rada unknown calls often meant potential clients. Mija Kovač Events, answer je svojim najoptimističnijim glasom. Gostoš Kovač, speaking je Luka Marković. Vidjel sam vaš rad i interested sam u vaše services za private event. Glas je bio educated, calm, without pretension, koji često karakterizira calls od wealthy potential clients. Mija je immediately switched u svoju professional mode, iako je part of her bio skeptički. After 3 dana sans new inquiries, ovaj call je falling perhaps too perfectly. Thank you za poziv, gospodine Marković. Can you tell me more about type of eventi i vaše expectations? Privatni recepcion za select group od approximately 60 individuals. Date flexibility imam, što znači da mogu work oko vašeg schedule. Budget nije primary concern, više me zanima quality and originality of execution. Mija je osjetila familiar excitement koji always comes discussing new projects, but forcing herself to remain grounded. After Katarina Babić learned je da be cautious of clients koji seemed too eager or too wealthy. Excellent. Možemo arrange meeting gdje mogu vama prezentat portfolio i discuss details of vašeg eventi. Kada bi vam bilo convenient? Actually, preferam da se first upoznamo informalno. Je li možda interested za coffee ovog afternoona? Mogu ja kome do vašeg office? Or, if preferred, možemo meet na neutral location. Nešto u njegovom tone suggestion je level of professionalism koji je immediately postavlja above typical last-minute inquiries. Decision da meet na neutral location pokazalo je sofisticiranost ili carefulness, ili maybe oboje. Kafić Medeni Kolačić na Tkalčićevoj, 4 sata danas afternoon. Perfect. Recognize me ću po... Kratka pauza, kao da je searching for appropriate description, navy blue jakni i laptop bag, i možda ste me već vidjeli, često vrkom tada. After finished poziv, Mija je sjedila several minuta, analysis, razgovor. Something će bilo unusual, but not necessarily concerning. Client koji calls personally rather than preko assistant, who offers venue flexibility, who mentions quality over budget. Either bardzo sophisticated person or someone who carefully researched kako approach organizatora događača. Decision je bila već donešena prije nego što je racionalu analizirala. Trebala je ovaj biznis. After Katarina Babić, njezin reputation je bila damaged, njezine finances depleted i njezina confidence seriously škaken. Whoever je ovaj Luka Marković, ako je his interest genuine i ako ima resources koje implies, ovaj projekt mogao bi biti exactly ono što joj treba da rebuild momentum. Spent je sljedeća 2 hour pripremić. Reviewed njezin portfolio, ensuring da svaki project showcase njezina expertise. selected outfit koji projects professionalism without appearing desperate, challenging balances kada imate limited business appropriate clothing. Prepared list of questions koja demonstrate her understanding od complexities involved su organizirali high-end eventi. Mo u 3:45 started je walking towards Tkalčićeva, nervous excitement building u njezinoj stomahu. Možda je to bio beginning of recovery od Katarina Babić sabotaž. Možda je to bio oportuno da prove da njezin talent wasn't defined od jednim failed client relationship. Ili možda je to bio nešto potpuno different od anything što je do sada encountered u njen biznis. Poglavlje 5. Testiranje granica. Luka je stigao u Medeni Kolačić 10 minutes before arranged time, njegov uobičajena strategička praksa za business meetings. Positioned himself at table s dobranjem visibility entire cafe, te sa his laptop opened that creates impression da je tu na work, ne specifically waiting someone. Kada je Mia entered nekoliko minuta before 4 sata, recognized ju je immediately, ne samo od prvodavašnji encounter 3 dana earlier, već zbog načina kako je carried sebe. Professional confidence koju je display bila carefully constructed over genuine nervousness, koji je bio visible u mikroekspresionima koje majority ljudi ne bi primijetila. Ona je scan kavić, located him na zaklade description koju je dao, navy blue jaknu i laptop bag. He approached table, carefully measured steps. Her handshake bila strong, direct eye contact, professional smile koji reached Njezine oči, but showed subtle underneath strain. Gospodin Marković, Mia Kovač, thank you za allowing ovaj meeting. Luka, please. I prefer informal approach, whenever possible. Settled su se i Luka je immediately noticed detal koji je confirmed njegov initial reading njena situation. Njezina order je bila single espresso. Najjeftinija opcija koja still maintains professional appearance u business. Context. Njezina laptop bag je well maintained but not new, a njezina business cards su professionally printed but on basic stock. Prije nego što diskusamo vaš event, Mia je početka, možete li mi tell about experience s event planning ili specificije requirements koje imate? Smart question, Luka decided. Rather than immediately launching you pitch, onađe establishing parameters i pokazuje due diligence. This would be naš first formally organized event of ovaj scope, replies je truthfully. But I've attended događaja koje vjerojatno su referentemente similar to što želimo achieve. I noticed the details often určujejo success više nego overall concept. Absolutely. Details su what distinguishes memorable event or typical gathering. Njezina confidence grew as razgovarajno moved u njezina područje expertise. Možete mi describe tipa atmosfere ili experience koju želite create za vaše guests? Ovo je bio testiranje trenutak za Luka. He'd done research enough o event planningu da sound informed, but not enough da fake expertise. Decision koja je now faced bila je koliko transparency offer o njegovim true motivations za ovo meeting. Honestly, više me zanima finding someone who approaches events as creativity and personal attention, rather than following formulaic approach koji imamo larger agencies. Seen sam što se doganja quando ljudi choose based on prestige, rather than actual competency. Something flashed u njezinima očama, recognition možda ili appreciation, zašto je sounded kao validation of her position prema established industry. To je interesting perspective. Many potential clients come as expectations. The larger budgets automatically mean better results, but often best events. Few ones, kad je svaki element je personally curated rather than selected od standard package. Exactly. Luka felt da je conversation flow becoming natural rather than performative. Koje što mi leads actual question, if you had complete creative freedom, adequate budget, what type of event would you want create? Koji showcases vašu vision rather than simply meeting client expectations. Question je bila calculated. Risk. If Mia je bila tipična industry professional, odpovedati bi conservatively, focusing na client needs rather than personal artistic vision. But Luka je suspected da ona je different type of professional, someone with genuine creative drive koji je been limited od financial constraints i client prejudices. Her answer confirmed ego suspicions. Instead, od typical consultant speak, opisala je event koncept koji kombinirala autentičku Croatian kulturnu, elementi z modern international aesthetics, intimate atmosphere, koji encourages meaningful interactions rather than just networking. Eye attention details koji would create lasting emotional impact na attendees. Dok je govora, Luka je realized da njegov initial motivacija za ovo meeting, combination od genuine interest u helping her i curiosity o njen professional capabilities, je evolving i nešto more complex. Ovaj neni bil just about charitable, impulse ili interesting business experiment. That sounds like exactly tip eventi koju želim create, rekao je. I ovaj put completely meant it. Poglavlje 6. Otkrivanje slojeva. Tjedan dana after njihovi initial meeting, Mia je bila u svojem prostoru working na preliminary planning za Lukov event, koji se gradually transforming u the most complex i challenging project ona ever undertaken. Luka je bio demanding, ali na način koji je forcing her da push boundaries of njen creativity, rather than simply sledujte standardnim procedurama. His briefing bio je specific but puzzling. Event je trebao biti hosted u privatnom venue, which he'll locate i secure, za točno 60 carefully selected guests. S atmosferom koja combines intimacy, elegance, cultural authenticity as international sophistication. Budget parametre koje je mention bio su generous enough da eliminira tipične constraint koje typically limited njezine creative options. What je bilo unusual je načinu kako je approached planning process. Instead of typical client behavior, briefing sesiju gdje klijenti explain svoje vision i then očekuje organizational execution. Luka je zahtijevao collaboration approach, gdje je constant communication, regular brainstorming sessions, a mutual input na each element. Their working relationship developed rhythm, koja Mia found both challenging and energizing. Luka would propose conceptual ideas koji seemal simple on surface, but required sophisticated execution. Ona would respond as practical applications koja elevated his concepts beyond what he initially imagined. Together, kreovali su event design, koji neither of them mogao achieved independently. Tijekom jednog od their planning meetinga, ovoga put u njenom office prostoru, Luka je mentioned detail koji caused Mia da pause. Za music component, thinking Sam o live performance, rather than DJ ili standardnim event entertainment. Možda something koji incorporates traditional Croatian elementi, but appeals i international audience. That's excellent direction, replied Mia, but finding musicians koji mogu deliver šta quality for privatni event s only nekoliko weeks notice. To može biti challenge, especially within typical event budgets. Budget nije limitation factor, Luka replied casually. What's important is finding right talent and creating right atmosphere. Mia looked up with Njezine notes. During weeks they'd been working together, several comments, like Ovaj, suggested the Lukov financial resources were significantly beyond what typical clienti mogu allocate za private evente. Can I ask, Ella said cautiously, what type of work you do? Not from nosiness, but understanding clientov background often helps me tailor event appropriately. Luka hesitated several secunda, long enough to Mia notice hesitation, but not long enough to create awkward pause. Technology consulting, he replied. International clients, primarily European markets, flexibility in scheduling, decent compensation, nothing extraordinarily glamorous. Odgovor bio je truthful but incomplete. I both of them znali to. But Mia decided nie to push Verda. Clients often had reasons of maintaining privacy about their business affairs. Professional boundaries required respecting those preferences. What interesting je bilo da throughout their collaboration, Luka demonstrated understanding of event logistics, human psychology, koje went far beyond what typical private client posiaduje. His suggestions about guest flow, timing considerations, promotional strategies showed someone who understands how organizations function, kako people behave in professional social settings. Actually, Mia said, reaching decision, if you're comfortable with idea, možda bi bilo useful esli možete review guest list composition. Understanding types of people she will be attending helps you planning conversation flow, ensuring appropriate networking opportunities. That's sophisticated thinking, Luka replied. Da, definitely can discuss guest selection. Though, mogu mention the majority, sera ljudi who don't typically attend same eventi. So creating common ground dla meaningful interaction jedno od main challenges želim address. As conversation continued, Mia realized that this project nije just najkomplex profesionalna challengena encountered. It was also becoming most intellectually stimulating collaboration on a ever experienced. Working s Lukom requires her to operate na higher level than Jena previous projects, to consider nuance and psychological subtleties, što ona usually approached intuitively rather than systematically. Gradually, ona je počela suspect da Luka što niže entirely što claimed za B. Poglavlje 7. Katastrofa kao katalizator. Do tižnja before planiranog eventi, Mia received poziv koji je promet da destroy everything ona i Luka built together. Glas na drugom kraju linije bio je familiar, Katarina Babić. Mia, čula sam da organiziraš privatni event za nekog ko se zove Luka Marković. Need da znam details. Mino srce zastalo. Professional discretion demanded da ne diskusira client information, ali Katarina je govorila kao someone koji has significant leverage. Katarina, znaš da ne pove diskusirati details o clientsima s external personami. To je basic professional protokol. Mia, slušaj pažljivo. Luka Marković ne je ordinary client. Checked sam jeho background. Znaješ ko je on? Pause, koje je followed, filled Mia's stomach s growing dread. On je owner na Marković Digital Solutions, company koja alone v prošlata godina generirala over 6 millions evra profit. Živi na Tuškanak, possesses real estate portfolio vredat millions, and most importantly, on je single I extremely private u svojem personal lifeu. Information udari Mia kao physical blow. Sve tezi sedmici, collaborating s njim, всички тези conversations gdje je pretvarao da je ordinary client s decent budget. Why ti telling me ovo? Managed da pita. Because, draga Mia, tvoja ta naivna situation postavlja problems za established event plannings industry v Zagreb. Elite Events javno announced da, ako successfully launch ovaj event, to demonstrates that anyone može compete za high-profile clientele based na luck rather than reputation. Threat bula implicit ali clear. Katarina weren't just informing her, ona je warnings za da back off ili face consequences, jaki could end neju career before ono properly started. After call ended, Mia sjedjela v Njezinom office staring na planning materials za Lukov event. Everything toj same do toga trenutaka, Svaki detail oni carefully created, svaki element oni collaborated na, sada appeared rizno. Not kak partnership between professional colleague, ale kak elaborate deception, gdje ona bila unknowingly manipulated. No najtroubling element isn't look of deception o njegovom wealth. To bila fact da spored Katarina, njegovi motivations za hiring djevojčicu perhaps weren't professional ili daže charitable. Perhaps bula personal na way, koji Mia nije equipped da handle. Telephone ring interrupted njene trevogi. Caller, ID showed Lukov number. Mia, tomorrow rano ćemo visit proposed venues a final approval. Prepared Sam, several options based na criteria mi discuss demo. Luka, nid da govorimo. Something u njenom tone immediately altered energy na poziv. Something wrong? Nid da znam truth of who you are, I what vašite real motivations su za uvađi event. I ne mogu continue working na project if ne znam fundamental facts of client situation. Long silence. Mia could practically hear Lukua calculating ega response options. Mia, can me meet a person to discuss ovo? Some conversations aren't appropriate za telephone. Fine. No, if ne receive honest answers, project ends tonight. After arranging meet and location, Mia realized da regardless od Lukov ultimate explanations, and Jichov working relationship hadila fundamental shift. Trust koji gradually built throughout weeks na collaboration built damaged, možda irreparably. No takož realized something else. During posljednje nedelje, vaš project nego simply professional assignment, stanovila bila personal investment v way što scared Andrzeju poveće nego professional. Failure. Now need to determine koji elements utneju growing feelings za Luka bili based na authentic connection I koji bili based na illusion on carefully constructed around himself. Poglavlje 8. Strategija vulnerabilnosti mitin lijev na observation deck na lotrščaku tornja. Position koja provided privacy počas gleichzeitig offering dramatic backdrop ka Zagreb evening lights. Luka arrived 5 minuta ranije, kako običajno, ale ovaj vremeto nervousness, što usually characterized other people's behavior počas difficultnih conversations, bula teper očividna u njegovom body language. Mi arrived točno na time, ama nema previous professional composure. Instead, she carried tension koja suggested da uvaža conversation mogla determinate ne just njihove working relationship, ale something much more significant. Pachnitis truth, reklađe immediately after joining njegon observation platformu I. Luka breathed deeply, looking across Zagreb cityscape for deciding na response strategy koja would either salvage situacija ili complete destroy whatever trust remained between them. Ti pravasi. Ne sam bilo honest okoj sam. Pause. Nakon carefully considering how much disclosure bula appropriately. Kompaniju Markovic Digital Solutions generates significant revenue, ama more importantly, otvara meni certain opportunities I access koj. Another pause. Koji sometimes complicated personal relationships. Complicated kako. Kada ljudi discover moju financial situation, and njihova behavior toward me changes you ways, što rarely tfurt authentic connections. Either begin treating me kao source of financial opportunity, ili assume da moju interest to them my utilitarian motivations. Me felt some od neju anger shiftat kam curiosity, alit remaining cautious. So, ovo, je bilo, what? Social experiment? Sposob da test whether I mogu interact s vami като normal person. Initially tako, Luka admitted. Ale šta? Takom poslednjite nedelje working together na ovaj project. To persta being about testing something is stala more complicated. For first time you conversation, njehove eye contact sustained longer kak professional courtesy required. Mia realizirаше that whatever deception had occurred, whatever manipulation mogla da be involved, Emotional connection koja developed между тем during collaborative process nije bila entirely one-sided. Luka required to know što tashka motivations za hiring me. Katarina se suggested da... What did Katarina say? Mia explained Katarinu poziv, njene accusations, I implications i threats. Kao sluša, Lukav expression shifted with defensiveness kenjer, ale anger directed not at mja, ale kam situationi. Katarina Babić reče nakon mja finished explaining, je pessoa koj demonstrates exactly zašto remain privateć o moju financial affairsi. She će ispoljzvati ovaj informationi to create problems. Za tebe professionally, ne jer cares o industry standards, ale jer considers tebe threat k sneju social kontroli. So, što predlagaš? Luka looked directly at NJU. I decision kao tuk bila. Obviously difficulty. Predlagam da finish ovaj eventi exactly kao planiram. But also suggest they consider što this means za naš collaborationi on professional i personal leveli. Šta znači tuva? Znači da sam willing to be completely transparent. S tobom u kojoj jesam i šta poziciji, esti ti willing to consider possibility da ovo nije manipulationi, već genuine interesti u working s nekoj ko challenges me intellectually i creatively. Mja stared at njego, realizing da neju responso odlučiće ne justifatej od eventi, ale trajektoriju od both njihove personal i professionally futures. Wind across observational platform below cold, ali neither od njih moved toward shelter. Decisions so required making could not be rushed, i both ponimaha da ovaj moment bil pivotal for reasons extending far beyond single event project. If remain working together, Mia finally said, needs to be based on honest partnership. No more deceptions, no more strategic withholding of information. Agreed, Luka replied. Complete transparency. I togava, continued Mia, ovaj event becomes of something much more significant jak either od nas originally planned. Poglavlje 9. Preokret. U dinamici evening od eventi held na prestigious venue, jaki Luka secured u exclusive hotel Esplanade, predstavlja culmination vid sedmice planning, što had transformed vid simple client project u complex personal I professional partnership. Mia arrived early to supervise final preparations, ale found the majority od logistics već bili executed donjene specifications. Evidence. The Luka invested significantly more resources kako ensuring perfection, kao ishta koj tipično required. Guests began arriving at 7 p.m. Mia immediately realized the Luka's description of privatni event za select group bila significant understatement. Attendees included recognizable figures with Zagreb's tech industry, cultural leaders, several prominent business people, i даже несколько national government officials koje rarely attended privately hosted events. What возбуждающее было, however, было начинать на кой событие to unfolded. Instead, od typical networking gathering, където people formed exclusive circles based na existing social connections, Mion's carefully planned conversation, facilitation I activity design created environment kde meaningful interactions occurred across traditional social boundaries. Luka approached NJU Tekom cocktail hour, looking sophisticated in formal suit, koje understated rather shan ostentatious, approach koja Mia now recognized като characteristic od njegovog style. Feedback od guests bilo exceptional, reče. Nikoj ne seem bored ili uncomfortable, което е remarkable za gathering the majority naroda didn't know each other before tonight. To bilo pointer, replied Mia. Instead of creating environment където people prosto exchange business cards, goal was facilitate genuine connections based on shared interests and mutual respect. You succeeded beyond expectancy, Luka said. ale also realized twa eveningi demonstrates something vicious significant. What's twa? Demonstrations, що тводжата vision за event planning, transcends typical industry approaches. What создало tonight isn't просто successful party, to a model за how social and business events можеха да function differently. Като evening progressed, Mia began noticing how guests interacted с NJU. Instead of treating NJU като hired service provider, majority addressed NJU kao so-host, asking the introductions to other attendees, complimenting concrete design choices, requesting contact information the future events. Several mentioned yaki impressed Bilis's level of thoughtfulness evident to every detail. But most significant development came okolo 10 p.m. kada small group of guests approached NJU и Luka together. We've been discussing one of temu said, possibilities za sozdane regular social I networking eventi koji to emphasize meaningful connections rather jak superficial networking. Based on tonight's success, wondering if you two misliste za establishing permanent collaboration za organizing such gatherings. Mia looked at Luka, realizing her proposal essentially meant creating business partnership. Което would formalize njihove working relationship и potentially establish NJU kao premier event planner za Zagreb's growing tech и business community. Interesante idea, responded Luka. No needs to be Mia's decision. Toned your visionary behind everything koje to work tonight. Emphasis when placed na neju leadership role the proposal was deliberate, Mia realized. Instead of dominating conversation или taking credit, Vin purposefully positioned NJU като primary decision maker, creative force. Would need to discuss details, Mia replied, while the concept has significant potential. After guests began leaving, Mia, Luka, remains the final cleanup debriefing. Venue staff handled majority odd breakdown, leaving them freedom da, reflecting event success. The implications zanjihuve future collaboration. Tonight changed everything, Mia said ako, when he settled in a venue's balcony overlooking Zagreb night skyline. How so? Because demonstrated що we може create something that neither of us could achieve independently. But most importantly, showed що our partnership based on a mutual respect rather, как asymmetrical dependency. Luka nodded. So what happens next? Mia smiled, feeling confident I empowered your ways Kwiatu hadn't experienced since before Katarina Babic sabotage. Next, we redefine what event planning can be u Zagreb, but put to equal partners. Poglavlje 10. Nova arhitektura. 3 месеци после successful eventi at Esplanade, Mia и Luka estabeleceram operativen model который transcended traditional event planning и evolved u sophisticated business partnership, що привлакваше attention throughout regional industry. Njihova nova компанija, Authentic Experiences Zagreb, operiraše od elegant office space u centar grada, što Luka secure di Mia, designed spored principles jaki guided njihove initial collaborazioni. Instead, a typical event planning agencija, što focuses na executing predetermined packages, Jehova approach emphasized creating personalized environments za meaningful social и business connections. Demand za njihove services grew exponentially posle word spread o success od Lukan prvog eventi. But rather, jak accepting every requesti, TJ developed selective approach što ensured quality over quantity и maintained njihova reputation za innovation rather kak simply following market demands. Mia now possessed financial security която previously kažet unimaginably, ale more importantly, professional recognition kao creative leader rather kak service provider. Njena approach the event design now studied replicated by colleagues throughout industry. Serii od articles u regional business publications featured NGU kao example od how innovative thinking mogući da disrupt established industry practices. Luka meanwhile discovered što activan involvement u event planning provided outlets za creativity što ego tech work rarely afforded. Njegovo understanding od human psychology i business dynamics proven invaluable i creating eventi što fostered authentic professional networking rather kak superficial social performance. Njihovo personal relationship evolved complicated balance između professional partnership i growing emotional connection. What trebaše careful navigation. Both recognized that romantic involvement could complicate business dynamics, ali also acknowledged that njihova connection transcended purely professional. Collaboration. One weekend in morning, zbog meeting u njihova officei the reviewing proposals za upcoming projects, conversation shifted toward personal territory. Miai, Luka began cautiously, been thinking how we define our partnership moving forward. In what sense? We successfully established business model Koji works, gained reputation and financial stability, created something should we both find fulfilling professionally. No što. Alnjo. Realizing show business success, while important isn't only thing show matters in this equation. Mia looked up at proposals on Abel reviewing. Luka, if govorimo o personal feelings, potreba to be honest o complexities J. What complications? Fact, what mixing personal and business relationships introduces risks show could damage both aspects если things don't. Work J. Also fact що навisiga. Some people assume my professional success результат от personal relationship с тобом, rather как recognition от мой individualen talent. Luka leaned back his cherry, acknowledging validness of Jenna concerns. So what, если структурирamo this differently? How? What if establish clear professional personal boundaries that protect both aspects of our collaboration? Business decisions remain collaborative but separate от personal dynamics. Public representation emphasizes your role kao creative, leader i moj role kako financial i strategic support. Mia considered proposiciju and personal relationship develops naturally, bez pressure abo expectations koje moguće da compromise professional success. 6 months later, Authentic Experiences Zagreb buv recognized as regional award za innovation u event planning industry. Maya accepted a Jardi Solo, представляючи company's vision и methodology do audience и od industry leaders with across European market. During Jenna acceptance speech, ona briefly acknowledged collaborative support koja enables creative vision to become reality. Bez elaborating što her business partner bila also becoming much more personal connection. Katarina Babici, prisutna ATSH ceremony kao representative od elite eventsi, approached Mia afterward. Congratulations, ona said. Obviously, your approach proved interesting. Thank you, Mia replied diplomatically. Hope you recognize your vaš success demonstrates your talent, when properly supported, može transcend traditional limiting factors. Mia smiled, understanding što to bilo closest kao apology kojatu Katarina capable od offering. Walking home show evening through Zagreb streets, koja now felt less challenging and more like foundation za continued growth. Mia reflected što najgolem transformation wasn't financial ili professional, tuko psychological. She now operated with positioned creative confidence and collaborative partnership, što felt sustainable and authentic. Jenna telephone buzzed, s message tokom Luke. Ready the next adventure? Ta smiled, typing back, always. Future remained uncertain, kao всичко worthwhile, alnjo built na architecture od mutual respecti, shared vision i careful balance između professional ambition i personal fulfillment. Poglavlje je 11. Arhitektura vulnerabilnosti. 8 mjeseci nakon nagrade za innovation, Mia je discoverla da success nosi kompleksitis koje nikada nije anticipirala. Njen telefon zvao je u 6 sati ujutro i suviše rano za tipične business inquiries, ukazujući either na emergency ili international client u different vremenski zon. Caller bio je poznat glas, predstavnik od Croatian Ministry of Culture. Gospođo Kovač, ministerstvo je impressed sa vašim work i želimo da discuss specijalnu opportunity. Možemo li arrange formal vstreća? 3 hours later, Mia se našla u imposing government building koja je predstavljala everything što njena prethodna socijalna pozicija bilo isključivala. Conference room bio elegantni mixture od istorijski elements i modern technology designed da intimidate visitors whilst protecting authority od occupants. Meeting objectives bili immediately clear. Ministerstvo planiralo seriju kulturni events that promote Croatia internationally, particularly targeting tech-i business communities or European markets. Due da njena reputation za creating authentic networking environments, zaželjeli da njena company se priključi kao lead organizer. Project scope, explained glavni kulturni advisor, includes 4 major events throughout godinu. Budget od approximately 700.000 evra plus international promotion opportunities koje could establish vaš company kao regional leader. Возможности bila extraordinary, ale also overwhelming. Contract details indicated that accepting a wage project would require significant expansion of the njihova current operations, hiring additional personnel, i establishing partnerships government agencies što could dramatically change njihova company culture. Mia listened carefully, taking notes, ale part of njena attention bio focused na analyzing psychological implications. Government partnerships typically involve bureaucratic constraints i political considerations koje could compromise tvorческа integrity koja bio foundation od njihova success. Potrebna mi je time da consult sa mojim partner i analyze feasibility, rekla je diplomatically. Of course, Ali mentioned the timeline requires decision within 15 dana. Other agencije also being considered if your company isn't interested. Pressure tactic bio obvious, ale not necessarily inappropriate. Government contracts require certainty. Major cultural initiatives cannot wait indefinitely as private company decisions. That evening, Mia met Luka na balkon njihova office overlooking Zagreb twilight skyline. Discussion about government proposal trebala careful consideration of both professional and personal implications. Opportunity je exceptional, Luka began after reviewing proposal documents. Budget allows significant growth. International exposure could establish platform that are expanding beyond Croatia. Government backing provides level OD credibility that typically requires years to achieve independently. But Mia prompted, sensing neizgovorenost concerns. But accepting fundamental no changes what we are. Instead of selective boutique agency što chooses projects based na creative compatibility, postažemo larger operations, government obligations and bureaucratic constraints. Mia nodded. Same concerns bila troubling NJU since meeting. There's also personal aspect, rekla carefully. Meaning? Meaning the growth of dovage magnitude requires either expanding our partnership to include more ravnopravni decision makers ili establishing hierarchical structure gdzie jedini od nas becomes primary authority. Luka considered implications. Their current collaboration functioned successfully, because both contributed complementary skills without competing za control. Scaling the government contract level could disrupt equilibrium koje took them months to achieve. What if approach ovo differently? Luka suggested. How? Instead of accepting or rejecting contract as currently proposed, show if counter-propose modified structure. Meaning? Propose collaboration gdzie twoja company astane. Primary creative authority. Government provides bureaucratic and financial backing. IJ remain strategic consultant rather tak co-owner. Preserves your autonomy whilst utilizing my business experience the managing growth challenges. Suggestion impressed Mia, not just strategically, ale also personally. Instead, using opportunity to consolidate control, Luka proposed. Structure should enhanced Njena independence. That's sophisticated thinking, reklaže, but also risky zateb financially. Actually, it's strategic za both od nas. Your success to independent operator enhances value of any future collaboration, whilst protecting what we built personally with potential complications of business pressure. Looking across Zagreb lights, Mia realized day decision about government contract nije just to professional opportunities, to bilo o defining what type of partnership tidze choosing to build, both businessnu I personally, I whether they trusted njihova connection sufficient to survive significant change. Poglavlje 12. Strategija transformacije. Decision da prijeme government contract sa modified terms trebala implementation strategy koja bi zaštitila njihovu creative integrity whilst managing značitelni operational expansion. Mia provela следующие 2 sedmice drafting proposal koja bi redefinisala njihova relationship sa ovom project I established novu arhitekturu za njihovu kompaniju. Njena counter-proposal bila sophisticated document koja demonstration njena evolution do strategic business thinker rather kak prostu creative organizer. Instead of accepting standard government contract terms, one presented comprehensive alternative što zaštištavaše njena creative authority whilst addressing ministry's needs za professional credibility I administrative accountability. Primary modification Dudja outlined for official meetings of cultural ministry representatives involves maintaining creative independence through subsidiary structure. Authentic experiences. Zagreb retains full creative control whilst establishing separate entity za administrative compliance sa government requirements. Ministry officials exchanges glances. Obviously, nisu expected takozago od sophisticated counter-proposal od relatively new company. Continue, prompted Glavny cultural advisor. Secondary modification involves performance metrics based on a measurable cultural impact rather than simply administrative compliance. Success opredelchi through participant feedback, international media coverage, the sustainable networking relationships established rather to bureaucratic checklist. In collaboration, one weekend morning, zbogmuting unjichova offici the reviewing proposals the upcoming projects, conversation shifted toward personal territory. Miai, Luka began cautiously, been thinking, how we define our partnership moving forward. In what sense? We successfully established business model Koji works, gained reputation, financial stability, created something we both find fulfilling professionally. No sto. Alanjo, realizing show business success while importanti isn't only thing show matters with this equation. Mia looked up at proposals on our bill reviewing. Luka, if govorimo personal feelings, potreba da be honest o complexities J. What complications? Fact what mixing personal and business relationships introduces risks could damage both aspects если things don't. Work J. Also factio navish siga, some people assume my professional success результат od personal relationship s tobom rather как recognition od moj individualen talent. Luka leaned back u his chair, acknowledging validness of Njene concerns. So what if we structuramo this differently? How? What if establish clear professional and personal boundaries that protect both aspects of our collaboration? Business decisions remain collaborative but separate at personal dynamics. Public representation emphasizes your role kao creative. Leader i moj rol kako financial i strategic support. Mia considered proposiciju and personal relationship develops naturally, bez pressure abo expectations koje mogući da compromise professional success. 6 months later, Authentic Experiences Zagreb buv recognized as regional award za innovation u event planning industry. Mia accepted Azzardi Solo, predstavljajući company's vision i methodology do audience i od industry. Leaders with across European market. During Njene acceptance speech on a briefly acknowledged collaborative support koje enables creative vision to become reality, bez elaborating što her business partner bila also becoming much more personal connection. Katarina Babici, prisutna ATSH ceremony kao representative od elite eventsi, approach Mia afterwards. Congratulations, ona said. Obviously your approach proved interesting. Thank you, Mia replied diplomatically. Hope you recognize your vast success demonstrates your talent when properly supported, može transcend traditional limiting factors. Mia smiled, understanding što to bilo closest kao apology koja tu Katarina capable od offering. Walking home show evening through Zagreb streets koje now felt less challenging i more like foundations of continued growth, Mia reflected što najgolem transformation wasn't financial ili professional, tuku psychological. She now operated with position of creative confidence i collaborative partnership. She felt sustainable and authentic. Njene telephone buzzed s message tokom Luke. Ready's the next adventure. Ta smiled, typing back, always. Future remained uncertain. Kao всичко worthwhile, Aljo built na architecture od mutual respecti, shared vision i careful balance između professional ambition i personal fulfillment. Poglavlje 11. Arhitektura vulnerabilnosti. 8 mjeseci nakon nagrade za innovation, Mia je discoverla da success nosi complexities koje nikada nije anticipirala. Njen telefon zvao je u 6 sati ujutro i suviše rano za tipične business inquiries, ukazujući either na emergency ili international client od different vremenske zone. Caller bio je poznat glas, predstavnik od Croatian Ministry of Culture. Gospođo Kovač, ministerstvo je impressed sa vašim work i želimo da discuss specijalnu opportunity. Možemo li arrange formal vstreća? 3 hours later, Mia se našla u imposing government building koja je predstavljala everything što njena prethodna socijalna pozicija bilo isključivala. Conference room bio elegantni mixture od historijski elements i modern technology designed to intimidate visitors whilst protecting authority od occupants. Meeting objectives bili immediately clear. Ministerstvo planiralo serižu kulturne events to promote Croatia internationally, particularly targeting tech-i business communities of European markets. Due to njena reputation za creating authentic networking environments, tidze želeli da njena company se priključi kao lead organizer. Project scope, explained glavni kulturni advisor, includes 4 major events throughout godinu, budget of approximately 700,000 evra, plus international promotion opportunities, koje could establish vaš company kao regional leader. Возможности bila extraordinary, ale also overwhelming. Contract details indicated that accepting of such project would require significant expansion at njihova current operations, hiring additional personnel, and establishing partnership sa government agencies, što could dramatically change njihova company culture. Mia listened carefully, taking notes, ale part od njena attention bio focused na analyzing psychological implications. Government partnerships typically involve bureaucratic constraints I political considerations, koje could compromise tvorческа integrity, koja bio foundation od njihova success. Potrebna mi je time da consult. I samođem partner I analyze feasibility, rekla je diplomatically. Of course, Ali mentioned a timeline requires decision within 15 dana. Other agencies also being considered if your company isn't interested. Pressure tactic bio obvious, ale not necessarily inappropriate. Government contracts require certainty. Major cultural initiatives cannot wait indefinitely the private company decisions. That evening, Mia met Luka na balkon Njihova office overlooking Zagreb twilight skyline. Discussion about government proposal trebala careful consideration of both professional and personal implications. Opportunity je exceptional, Luka began after reviewing proposal documents. Budget allows significant growth. International exposure could establish platform the expanding beyond Croatia. Government backing provides level OD credibility, što typically requires years to achieve independently. But Mia prompted, sensing neizgovorenost concerns, but accepting fundamental changes what we are. Instead, od selective boutique agency što chooses projects based na creative compatibility, postažemo larger operations, government obligations I bureaucratic constraints. Mia nodded. Same concerns bila troubling NJU since meeting. There's also personal aspect, rekla carefully. Meaning the growth or dovage magnitude requires either expanding our partnership to include more ravnopravni decision makers или establishing hierarchical structure gdje jedini od nas becomes primary authority. Luka considered implications. Their current collaboration functioned successfully because both contributed complementary skills without competing the control. Scaling the government contract level could disrupt equilibrium koje took them months to achieve. What if approach ovo differently, Luka suggested. How? Instead of accepting or rejecting contract as currently proposed, show if counter-propose modified structure? Meaning, propose collaboration gdje tvoja company ostane. Primary creative authority. Government provides bureaucratic and financial backing. EJ remain kao strategic consultant, rather tak co-owner. Preserves your autonomy whilst utilizing my business experience of managing growth challenges. Suggestion impressed Mia, not just strategically, also personally. Instead of using opportunity to consolidate control, Luka proposed. Structure should enhance njena independence. That's sophisticated thinking, reklaže, but also risky za teb financially. Actually, it's strategic za both od nas. Your success като independent operator enhances value of any future collaboration, whilst protecting what we built personally with potential complications or business pressure. Looking across Zagreb lights, Mia realized da decision about government contract nije just or professional opportunities. To below or defining what type of partnership did the choosing to build, both businessly and personally. Whether they trusted Njihova connection sufficient to survive significant change. Poglavlje 12. Strategija transformacije decision da prijeme government contract sa modified terms trebala implementation strategy koja bi zaštitila njihovu creative integrity whilst managing značitelni operational expansion. Mia provela следующие 2 sedmice drafting proposal koja bi redefinisala njihova relationship sa ovom project i established novu arhitekturu za njihovu kompaniju. Njena counter proposal bila sophisticated document koja demonstration njena evolution do strategic business thinker rather kak prostu creative organizer. Instead of accepting standard government contract terms, one presented comprehensive alternative što zaštištava se njena creative authority whilst addressing ministry's needs za professional credibility and administrative accountability. Primary modification, Tuđeđi outlined for official meetings of cultural ministry representatives, involves maintaining creative independence through subsidiary structure. Authentic experiences, Zagreb retains full creative control whilst establishing separate entity za administrative compliance sa government requirements. Ministry officials exchanges glances. Obviously, nisu expected takozogo od sophisticated counter-proposal od relatively new company. Continue, prompted Glavny, cultural advisor. Secondary modification involves performance metrics based on a measurable cultural impact rather than simply administrative compliance. Success opredelci through participant feedback, international media coverage, sustainable networking relationships established rather than bureaucratic checklist.